should be.
Good evening and welcome to the Municipality of Monroeville's Citizens Night meeting and agenda setting meeting for February 6th, 2020. It is approximately 7:05 p.m. If you'd all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All of council is in attendance other than Councilman Aracinko, who is at a outside meeting.
Water buffalo.
And we're going to start with our Citizens Night portion of the meeting. If there's anyone that's signed in to make a comment about any municipal item, now would be your time to do so. Please keep your comments to a 5-minute time limit. That'd be great to keep the meeting moving along nicely. And if you could just state your name for the record.
My name is Pamela Bodziak. I am the Assistant Director at Monroeville Public Library, and I just wanted to take a couple moments to let you know of some of the recent things that have been going on and what's coming up next. First of all, a tremendous thank you to the Public Works Department for the work they've done around the library. They removed several dead trees from outside before they became a problem, and they also replaced flooring and did electrical work in 2 different parts of the building. They helped create a new room that will be available for programs and community meetings. We are always looking for more space for people to be able to work. We can't thank Public Works enough for helping to make that possible. The new space looks lovely. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from the community about it, so thank you very much for that. We have some photos from some of our most recent programs. This first one is our ball drop from 12 o'clock noon on New Year's Eve for anyone who didn't want to stay up that late. We had over 340 community members turn out, and we got a lot of positive feedback. This is I believe our 3rd noon ball drop, so everyone had a really good time. On the next slide, we have our Lunar New Year party, which was at the end of the month. 136 people came out to celebrate the Year of the Rat. There were origami mice, musical instruments, and a large dragon parade. And finally, we held a rock party at the library. That was 134 people who turned out to learn about geology, do some games and crafts revolving around the topic. So it's been a busy couple of months. But all good things. Our 2019 statistics are finalized. I'm very happy to be able to share some of the numbers. They can all be found in the last few pages of the report in front of you, but just some of the highlights. Continued increase in circulation and program attendance. This year, for the first time, we reached 400,000 items circulated. Ooh. So on behalf of Nicole, we want to thank the library staff for all of their hard work in making sure that all those materials got to where they needed to go. That's a lot. We're also very proud of our return on investment, which increased again this year to $4.82. This means for each dollar invested into the library, $4.82 worth of services were returned to the community. That return on investment has increased 27% since 2015. We also included an article on the results from a recent Gallup poll that showed that in 2019, U.S. adults made more trips to the library than to any other cultural event, including museums, amusement parks, sporting events, and even movies, which really surprised me. Americans averaged twice as many trips to the library as they did to a movie theater in 2019. So please feel free to check that article out for more information. And then just a few upcoming programs. In partnership with Gateway School District, we're hosting a parent workshop on digital citizenship, which includes keeping your children safe online and with social media. Good. That's on Wednesday, February 19th at 7. We'll be holding our 3rd annual Holi celebration on Saturday, March 7th. Holi is a Hindu festival of color that celebrates spring. And this is very exciting news. Daniel Tiger will be visiting the library on April 4th. Please stay tuned for more information because we are super excited about that, so you'll be hearing more about that. For our teens and their parents, the Pennsylvania chapter of the National Alliance of Mental Health are coming in to speak about teenage mental health and raise awareness and change perceptions about mental health in general. So both teens and parents are invited to that. That's March 9th at 7. And then a few of our adult programs. We have a tax seminar on Monday, February 10th at 7. It's all about an overview of the 2019 updates and what to expect when filing your return. So there'll be good information there. Program for caregivers, an introduction to Alzheimer's and dementia, discussing the impact on families, how the two diseases differ, and the current research and treatments available. That's on February 28th. And finally, we're hosting a program called Understanding Addiction. It's presented by the Jade Wellness Center, which is an outpatient rehab facility, and it will focus on the biology of addiction, how to shatter its stigma, and prevention strategies. That's March 23rd at 7. And that's it.
Thank you, Pam.
Thanks very much.
Very nice. Thank you.
Good job as usual.
Thank you.
Does anyone else like to address council on any municipal item? Seeing none, we're going to close that portion of the meeting and move to our proposed agenda for February 11, 2020. We have an executive session announcement. The council conducted an executive session for personnel and litigation reasons prior to tonight's Citizens Night meeting, beginning at 6:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Council legislative action, if any, shall be taken at the February 11th council meeting. Council, in front of you are the minutes of the reorganization meeting of January 6, 2020, the Citizens Night meeting of January 6, 2020, the council work session of January 6, 2020, and the regular council meeting of January 14, 2020. Any comments, corrections, or additions? Seeing none, we're going to move over to our reports of our tax collections. Council, any questions or comments? Very good. List of bills and budget transfers. Mrs. Gatos, do you have any questions?
No, I had mine answered. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Poach.
None right now, sir.
Mr. Harvey.
Nothing.
Anything this evening, Mr. Dillon?
Nothing.
Mr. Williams?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Very good. And payroll report, any comments or questions? Very good.
Okay.
Moving over to our consent agenda, we have new business. Council, it's in the orange section of your packet. It's 18-4-ST AR Building Company Incorporated. Mr. Little.
Okay, applicant is requesting site plan approval to construct 92-unit multi-level apartment building and associated site amenities. The property is located along Evergreen Drive near its intersection with Old William Penn Highway in the R5 multifamily residential use zoning district. Planning Commission has recommended approval.
Welcome.
Hi, my name's Ray Gusty from Farrington McCarty Gray. Jason Kempitz is from AR Building, couldn't make it tonight. He had to go out of town, so I'm filling in for him. So one of the resolutions from the original site plan approval was to limit construction traffic to the west end of Evergreen Drive, which is this yellow area here. So construction traffic was to come off of Old William Penn, up Evergreen into the site, and then out the site back down Evergreen to Old William Penn. So AOR Building is now getting ready to schedule delivery for their prefab wall panels, the floor trusses, and the roof trusses. Those have to be delivered by tractor trailer. Problem now is there's no room for a tractor trailer to turn around on the site. So they're asking for your approval to come this the red route, which would be Garden City Drive down Evergreen to the site, unload, and then continue back down the remainder of Evergreen back onto Old William Penn, which would be like a big loop.
How long would those deliveries, do you think those would continue?
They have it scheduled for 2 truck deliveries a day, Tuesday through Friday, from between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
But how long?
And there would be
8 a week.
Section A is the angled section. It would be February and March. And then Section B would be
So it'd be 2
April,
tractor
May.
trailers a day for a month?
4 days a week
4 days a week.
or a month.
Are you gonna have flag people there for traffic control while they're loading or unloading?
If that's necessary, yes.
It's necessary. I've had complaints from residents already that at the beginning of the project, that some of the larger vehicles were coming down, going west on Evergreen. And your folks were kind enough to put up a sign, no construction vehicles. And I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Only thing is, I don't know how else they're gonna get in there.
Would there be any kind of bond held for the road?
Yeah, they're aware that they would have to bond the remainder of Evergreen Drive and Garden
If
City.
you look at your orange sheets, you go to page 3 of it, number 11, it's italicized and bold.
Okay,
It sort of tells you, it rewrites that condition.
okay, that's what I wanted to make sure, that
And
was,
you have any idea-
do they have to bond the road? Yes. They do.
thank you.
Where are they coming from? Would they be coming off the Parkway or?
I think that's probably where they'd be coming from.
And the only reason why I ask is, I understand that they couldn't make that turn at the bottom of Evergreen.
Right.
It's pretty rough. I was wondering if they came from the other direction, but then there's that tunnel down there, so
Yeah, you still got to look,
yeah.
well, it's high enough.
You're lucky you can fit a big truck through that tunnel.
How, you think it's gonna last a month
Vision's board down there too.
for Part A?
Well,
2 months, you said.
February, March,
He's saying 2 months.
Tuesdays through Fridays.
We place special traffic speed restrictions for the trucks.
Well, the problem on that
They're
street
not going
is
fast on Evergreen.
people park on both sides of that street. And that creates an issue for the larger vehicles. And,
Are they oversized?
pardon me?
I was asking him if they were oversized vehicles.
No,
Okay.
Yeah, but
it's a
they're
standard
normal,
WD-50, I would.
they're normal 53-foot tractor trailer.
Well, they'll make it.
tractor-
But it's only between 10 and 2, right? That would be,
Yes.
that's when they're coming.
Right, and that was our concern, is that they were traveling and not interfering with the bus schedule.
Yes,
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
yeah, so that,
So they'll
the
be done
timing
by
should be
when?
good.
Between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
So it's not too early that the sound of the vehicles, people be
Right.
screaming about, and it's
And it's
not too
before the-
late.
before
It's
the
before the
kids
school
get out of
buses and all
school.
that, yeah, so the timing
It's
sounds
hard to give
good.
them permission to build a building and then not allow them to deliver the supplies, but
Should we put up no parking signs there on the street?
Well, you're gonna have to do that by ordinance, though.
I mean, just temporary, put no parking signs?
I mean,
Why, they can't make it through?
Like they do for parades and so forth? It could be considered a parade.
I don't think they're gonna be enforceable.
Oh,
I would think that with a skinny road and irate neighbors, it might be a good idea to put a police officer in that area,
was thinking the
them ours,
No,
to control things.
no, that's a big expense.
Well, maybe the first day.
Is there any other alternative that you guys have thought of besides that space? I mean, in a situation like this, is there any
they could
other?
bring it in by helicopter.
No, not really. It's just, there's just.
Right.
I can't see how
room to
else they can
turn
do it.
turn it
Turn it
around.
Been done?
The other option they had was to back up Evergreen all the way.
That's ridiculous.
Back,
That's too many
oh, that's
bends.
craziness.
That's the only way they could get,
Yeah.
to keep
too
truck
many
traffic
turns.
off the other end of Evergreen.
Well, then they would have to supply the flag people at their expense, not ours.
Let me ask you a question. Could you unload on Old William Penn Highway and truck it up?
No, the
Assesses
trusses are too
I don't
long.
think it's-
They're gonna have
Oh,
a crane on site.
Right, okay.
It's just gonna reach over to the truck.
Because you
and
have
pick
a
up.
crane to pick it
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a gravel parking area now, and I think that's probably big enough to bring a truck down there and pull off of the road through that gravel parking lot and unload there.
It's a night out.
That way you wouldn't impair the.
you mean at the
road
construction site? Where's he mean?
Well, where the trailer is?
No, where the cars are parked. When you come down Evergreen, make that left turn right across from them two duplexes, there's a gravel parking area there,
Yeah.
which I guess the workers park there. And maybe the workers can park somewhere else, and that truck should be able to come down there and get off of the road.
Yeah, but
and
the
unload
crane
those
won't be able to
trusses.
reach him.
The honest-
Crane won't
think
be
that-
able to reach
I
him.
think,
Yeah, that's the whole problem.
Mr.
right?
Williams, I think that's a little too far down on the site
Okay.
because the building is up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
The
crane's gonna
offloading,
be up
Yeah.
where the tires are, like.
the offloading of the truck is not an issue. It actually doesn't take very long. And remember, time is money to these guys.
It's just
They're gonna
the
get off as
travel.
fast as they
Well,
can.
I would think that it would be better if you could supply somebody to direct the traffic coming west off of Garden City Drive and sort of, let it go back and forth, because if the trucks are there, it's going to make it, they're going to have to park along where the structure's starting. So therefore, by creating a safety zone, that flagman can let traffic go, stop, or whatever, because if you're unloading, you're not going to be able to have someone come down Evergreen until you're done unloading.
So Paul, is the condition that they have flagman?
We can add that condition.
I think that's what we have to do. I think it's the only way to solve this.
Both ends.
Both ends.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd have a problem with that?
I don't think so.
I think we have to put that in there.
So my next question would be, if that doesn't work, then we have to rethink it.
When's this starting? It's February now, so when's the first delivery supposed to come in? Next week? This?
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully you would approve
Wednesday.
it next Tuesday,
Wednesday,
probably,
yeah.
probably
And then
Wednesday.
Wednesday, they're
All
in.
right.
Okay.
Honestly, they wanted to start yesterday, but they didn't do that.
Yeah, I'm sure. Okay.
No, time's money. They're not gonna be dilly-dallying. I realize that.
Right.
And if it's only 2 trucks a day, and we know what times they're coming, and they have flag people there for those 4 hours so that they're
They're
ready
gonna
no
get
matter
those
what
things
times those
unloaded
trucks
and out of
come.
there.
That sounds reasonable.
I think that's probably the best we can
I
all
would,
hope for.
I would think, Tom, we wanna try it and then see what kind of response you get.
And then let's,
If there's an issue, we can deal with it.
let's look at it after a
Police
week
officer.
or so
That's all.
and decide if it's working well or if it isn't.
Yeah, we'll get some feedback from,
So we're gonna add
That-
the flagman then.
yeah.
You guys have worked with us a number
You
of
have
times in the
flagman
last
that
couple of
you're
years, so you
I'm sorry?
You
follow
have
through.
flag-
Yeah,
Nope.
they do, they follow through.
Pardon me?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I
I'm comfortable too.
Two.
But we can't vote till 2.
One on each end.
All right, so we'll consider this on Tuesday, but
And then
I
get the head-
think we're getting somewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, do you have a place where, I've had some phone calls, people want to apply for those apartments right now if they can.
I will get you a contract.
Okay. Yeah, give it to Paul and then he can give it to me. Okay, thanks.
Very good. Council, we have 3 motions this evening. Mr. Little.
Yeah, the first one is the annual MS Consultants, a motion to approve the 2020 engineering services with MS Consultants. I have put that in your packet. I also put the 2019 rate so you can see the difference in the different labor categories there. So that's for your discussion and approval or non-approval on Tuesday.
Very good.
Any discussion on that item?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, second motion is a motion to hire LGA Partners of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to provide architectural professional services for the renovation of the lobby for the existing Monroeville Senior Center to enhance security and basic control of the entry for a cost not to exceed $19,700. Any discussion on that item? We've talked about this off and on.
No, sir.
Okay, the third one is a motion to hire LGA Partners of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to provide architectural professional services for the Monroeville Municipal Building to develop a strategy and potential renovations for security to the entire building, more specifically for the front entrance at a cost not to exceed $18,000. Any discussion on that?
Quick one, sir. The one previous that says basic control, also entry control, to include it in both, so that covers all of the entry control spaces.
I don't think we
Correct.
need as much.
Yeah, in both of them,
But can I
including like the police department and the doors and
Yeah, well,
be integrated.
well, as I said, more specifically, we were looking at the area out here, but Dave Schaefer, the architect, has.
Is this in conjunction with getting that grant entrance door put in?
No, well, I tried, good question, Ron. I tried to combine these. This is going back 6, 8 months. back to the summer. But no, it does not, because we had to move ahead
Why is the
with the money we're
So you
getting.
didn't run the
senior center
deadline.
more than the
Exactly.
municipal
We have to
building?
spend the money, the grant money, which is $28,000
By a deadline.
by June 30th.
Of
And
this year?
This is not gonna, so we used MS Consultants for that.
Understand.
Pete, collated us on that.
Where did these numbers come from? Not to exceed.
Not to exceed from the architect, Dave Schaefer.
Okay. I'm just wondering why the senior center is more than the municipal building.
Well, let me ask you, now, understand that, as I've mentioned to council, that the one for the senior citizen includes a bid package, where the one for the, where they can put a bid package together and go out for bid, but the one for the municipal building, this is just to put a schematic together, to come up with suggestions on what we can do, and that's stated in the proposal.
Okay.
What we can do. And I'm not going to go into the details of what Dave has mentioned to me out front here in the lobby, but he's come up with a couple different
We don't
ideas.
want you to-
Ideas.
Yeah,
No,
thank
no,
you.
we don't want
Thank
to
you.
right
We don't
now.
want you to go into.
Yeah, that's
Thank
fine.
you. Just a question.
Yeah, Mr. Ratcher, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. I mentioned to Mr. Little, relative to the LGA contracts, there's some legal boilerplate in there that I think we have to get a little tweak to balance out the risk between us and the architect a little more. So I'll work with Mr. Little on that.
Very good. And these are all, I mean, it's the same company, so they'll be doing some kind of package
Yeah.
work as well. In the senior center, they had 3 different phases in that package as well.
But we have to get that legal verbiage straightened out.
Correct, exactly.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then all the other on the second part with the municipal building, to include information, like we said, general renovations also, since I'd like painting, carpeting, et cetera. Is that in that second?
Well, that has nothing to do with this. I mean,
No,
as far
but I
as paying, yeah, but we're in the capital improvement program's being put together right now, and that's all going to be part of that.
Are we
Okay.
getting that next month?
March?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Boy, you like to talk up those sides of your mouth.
Jeez,
I can only
I like
move
how you
as
just
fast
stared at
as I
me
can
first.
move.
Okay.
Very good. Council, resolutions. We have 2 this evening. Mr. Little.
A resolution authorizing the display of various event banners at the corner of the intersection of States Route 22 and 48 within the right-of-way of property belonging to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. This is a housekeeping item we pass every year for the banners for all kind of different events we have, mostly during the summer months. Any question on that?
Next one.
Okay, the next one is a resolution authorizing the filing of a Keystone Recreation Park and Conservation Fund grant for the public library facilities for funds for a new air conditioning unit, repair of the entry vestibule, and repair replacement of the sidewalk ramps and stairway around the building. This would be a matching grant, which we would have to match $225,000 on. It does, as it says, it does encompass a new air conditioning unit, the repair of the vestibule, which has been an ongoing
So
problem
this
down
whole
there.
thing would be $500,000?
Yeah, it'd be $450,000, yeah.
Would any of that be any security?
No, this is just with the sidewalk, the ramps, the stairways around the building, the vestibule, and the air conditioning unit.
Well, partially though, because the vestibules,
Oh, the vestibule.
Yeah, that
Vestibule,
would,
the main
I would
part
hope
of
This
the
so.
is more for the stormwater. of the
stormwater
vestibule.
issue, the
Yeah, I
issues
know
that
they've
have
had
come up.
problems with the water coming in, but hopefully they're going to do something with the vestibule, they're going to do something with the security there.
Yes, yeah.
And she has been in contact with.
This would be authorizing you to apply for that grant?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just to apply for it. Okay.
Anything else, Council?
Nope.
Very good. We have one ordinance this evening. Mr. Ratcher, please.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 848, regulating traffic, parking, and impounding of vehicles to authorize a multi-stop sign intersection on Bay Hill Drive at Newberry Drive.
Where is it?
Glenwood, third.
Glenwood.
Glenwood Glen. Glenwood condominiums.
Glenwood?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is at the request of their residents.
That's almost a-
They had a traffic study done. They requested a stop sign on Old William Penn. So they kind of did the whole thing. And they found no reason for the stop sign on Old William Penn, but they found this intersection should have a stop sign.
Anything else, Council? Very good. Mr. Ratcher, do you have any comments this evening?
Mayor, thank
Okay,
you.
we'll continue with our reports of our municipal staff. Mr. Little.
Yeah, the college student summer employee applications will be due by April the 17th. Anybody that wants to apply to work here in the office or at Public Works, usually are the two places, please apply by April the 17th, and there's applications on our website or here at the municipal building. Also, you have in your packet property acquisition that the Tricog Land Bank has brought to, it's on the last page, Snowball Road, 5th Street, and Bruner Drive. These are the properties that have been brought to your attention in months past for the land bank, Tricog Land Bank to acquire. Any comments on that? You see the letter that is from
One line and then
the
the other.
Tricog Land Bank.
Wait, where are they? Where's the list? Which one was mine?
Any questions, council? About the land bank?
I mean, you can read it at your leisure. If you want to bring up anything on Tuesday or call me, you can do that. One thing here on Northern Pike Construction, I've mentioned about 3-4 months ago that PennDOT will be repairing a slide on Northern Pike on the S-curve, the steep curve between Abers Creek and Maria Drive in Turnpike Gardens. The initial thought was that PennDOT was going to leave one lane open and have a temporary traffic light there. They have notified us that they are going to close the road down entirely.
Whoa.
For 60 days. And the work will get done more quickly. And also,
So they
Abers
say.
Creek will be closed down for a period of time, but whether or not anything Abers Creek heading north so people can get on 22, that remains to be seen whether that would be done. But they have notified us that sometime this spring when they start, that Northern Pike is going to be closed in its entirety. And the reason why is if you're making a left heading west on 22, for instance, and you're in a queue lane, as I do every morning, and you think if they have a temporary traffic light, let's say right at Abers Creek, that traffic would back up onto 22. And I thought about that myself, but they've evaluated that further and said
I
that,
was gonna ask you if it would behoove us to make some kind of flyer and give it to Forbes and the people at the old Westinghouse place, because that's probably 3/4 of the traffic that comes through there.
Yeah.
And I think if we notified them early, you wouldn't have such a tremendous backup.
well, PennDOT said they are going to be promulgating that in some fashion. I don't know if they're going to be sending it to the hospitals themselves, but I'll talk to the gentleman I talked to.
I mean, the hospital
When are
and
they
that,
doing that?
We can let them know.
I don't know what to call it, but the old Westinghouse. I don't know what the plan's called.
Next tier
now.
connect.
Next year.
Yeah, okay.
I can reach out to the management of that building as well, even if they just maybe email all the employees.
Yeah, put a couple postings up or something.
And I wonder, is this going to affect have a sense this will pick up the traffic on Cabot Road?
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause that's probably the way I'll go.
Right, to go back home, so, I mean, is there any cause to further notify all those folks as well as Turnpike Bar? I mean, I know it's people, but that's really a lot more than we had anticipated. Like, as if PennDOT cares what we think anyway, but he says tongue-in-cheek.
I don't think there's,
Tim, how long did you say
I'm
for?
gonna leave that one alone.
Actually, they have a timeline of 63 days.
Starting,
What's the start date?
starting
Yeah,
when?
no, they don't have a start date yet.
They don't have a,
They didn't tell me a start date yet.
Mr. Little, what about the traffic that's going to come down there? We're going to put some kind of signs or something?
They're
towards
going to,
Turnpike?
and exactly right. Really, the brunt of Turnpike Gardens is initially, people are going to not see the signs when they're out on Moss side, that it's closed
get
all the way
stuck,
down
and they're
to.
gonna
Every time there's an accident down at the
Around.
bottom
And
there.
they're going to hit East Patty, and they're going to turn in, and they're going to be floundering around, people that aren't familiar with the area. and that's exactly what's going to happen.
This is a great start for your term, Councilman Wolf.
Yes, yes.
I'll be standing out there with a sign, huh?
Yeah, good luck.
Perfect timing.
Go to
And also the church at Grace
Get a flag.
Grace Life Baptist Church, is that what, that's going to get some people turning around in there.
Some media, maybe.
And the fire station.
And-
Yep.
Yeah,
Is-
they're
I mean,
gonna have to
is
be
it-
aware
how
of,
far-
yeah,
I guess what I'm
shortcuts.
asking is how further back it'd be west on Northern Pike to start notifying folks? As
Oh, I
far
think right
back
at
as-
Moss side.
Moss side, yeah.
They'll have to go right at Moss side,
Right.
yeah.
Turn them around through there, too.
Yeah, they'll have to do something with that left turn lane on 22.
Yep.
Now, would that impact number 4 fire hall?
Yes, to a certain degree. About 80% of the time, actually, the number 4 leaves the fire station and makes a left. It actually looked at that once, but it does affect the reach out to residents to 286 and
Yeah.
into
Shangri-La.
Shangri-La and that area, too.
Mersey Plaza.
Murrysville Plaza. And it will also affect a huge amount of EMS traffic in from Westmoreland County.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so a number of those folks, again, reaching out to Forbes is a good idea. Their EMS contact will in turn reach out to those EMS agencies in Westmoreland County.
They don't try to come that.
Yeah, because many of them, that's the only way they know to get to the trauma center. So the fact that they'll have to go the whole way to 22 and 48 and come back is kind of it throws a monkey wrench into it, too, for inbound traffic, too. So, but their EMS folks, can,
They'll figure it out.
well, they have that contact and the ability to do that, too, but it's actually pretty significant.
Well, hopefully PennDOT can get us a more firm date. That way we
Right.
can start notifying people properly.
And also, they're going to have to get that done before they start milling and paving 22, that's the final phase.
Oh, crap.
Of,
forgot about
they did
that.
all the prep work last year, and when they're going to start, I would assume they're going to be done with that before they start milling and paving 22 from the Murraysville line up to,
The turnpike, way the,
yeah, to the
Turnpike.
Yeah.
turnpike.
Well, and,
Turnpike, right.
and also at the same time, reach out to UPMC East as well, and their
better.
EMS contact, and let them know, because they do also get some
Yeah.
traffic that direction, occasionally, even if you wouldn't think so, but they do.
A lot of ambulances come up.
So, yeah, there are.
The orange barrel season is upon us. It's becoming upon us.
Exactly.
As if PennDOT cared. Stop.
Anything else, council?
That
Mr.
can-
Little, anything else?
No, that's all.
I have a question for Mr. Little. This vacancy openings for boards and commissions, is that on our website?
Yes, it should be.
Yeah.
I'll double check on that
Yeah.
with
The public
Andy
can read
tomorrow.
that. And let me just read some of the openings in case the public is listening. Library Board, 1 vacancy. Zoning Hearing Board, 1 vacancy. Planning Commission, 2 vacancies. Convention Visitor Bureau, 1 vacancy. Recreation and Park Advisory Board, 2 vacancies. And some of these are certain wards. Ethics Board, 2 vacancies. Personnel Board, 4 vacancies. Police Civil Service Commission, 1 vacancy. And Human Needs and Resource Advisory Board, 5 vacancies. And we're looking for some qualified individuals to serve on these boards.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Mr. Hugus, any comments this evening? Reports?
I'm good.
Very good. Ms. Rock?
I don't have
debatable.
anything.
Very good. Excellent. And
We'll even look.
we'll go over to our reports of our council members. Mr. Wilson?
I just have one comment. I'd like to wish my wife happy birthday tomorrow.
Oh.
And many, many more. Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Williams?
Nothing this evening.
Mr. Wolfram?
I have some issues regarding some lighting on certain streets that I'd like to see looked into.
turn him into
Very
Mr.
bad
Sedlak.
streets. Pardon me?
Turn him into Mr.
Are these streets-
Sedlak. He's
are
our
these
lighting
lights that
boy.
are out or places that
None.
don't have lights?
You want new
Places
ones?
do not have any at
He
all.
wants
Yep.
new lights.
Okay, very dark scenario. People walk their dogs there late, like sometimes, and I myself have come close to almost hitting someone.
Isn't it?
So,
That's done through by a petition that we have to fill out, and then Mr. Little can get you that information once you find the specific areas. Then just get the neighbors to sign up, and then it'll come in front of council, and then we'll notify Duquesne Light.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mr. Harvey,
Okay.
anything this evening for your report?
Don't be silly, of course there is.
If you haven't noticed, the new sign is being constructed at 22 and 48 on the southeast corner. A lot of the masonry and footers are done, and it's starting to go up. If you remember, you approved this sign some time ago. I'm going to provide a handout so you can see. This was given to me by Sean Logan, and you'll be able to see, for those of you that don't remember, there were 4 illuminated spaces that we were charging $5,000 a space for, and they're filled. Sean got them filled. The only people that are not paying is the Hampton because they donated the property. So I thought you'd want to see it, and if you go past there, you'll see the construction's underway, and hopefully it'll be done soon, and I know myself and Sean and Chief Cole are going to be taking a class on how to program the sign. I have a meeting coming up with the Glenwood Board of Directors. They have some questions on development items such as traffic and speed control and turnpike expansion, et cetera. So I have a meeting coming up with them. The MS4 Division of Public Works has taken delivery of some new vehicles, if you haven't seen them. Tandem axle dump and a second single axle dump, I believe, right, Mr. Hugo?
Yes, sir.
And I think they're going to be waiting for, are you currently waiting for a new vac truck?
That'll probably be till the end of the year.
Oh, okay. And last but not least, I have been provided a meeting schedule to visit Monroeville, the CVB, and my first meeting will be in February on the 20th, and that's it.
Very good. Mr. Poach?
Yes, but the only thing is we're currently coordinating through the manager's office. Dara's helping us to do that, to get together with our community pools to continue to finalize moving forward with some of the meetings we've had with them in the past year. We sort of have a sort of self-imposed deadline between their groups and ours in recreation of, trying to get everything squared away by April. So more to come on that. And that's it for now.
Mrs. Gatos?
Happy birthday, Roseanne. That's all I have.
Happy birthday.
Very good. And I'll echo that same sentiment. Happy birthday to Mrs. Wilson. We've been pretty fortunate with winter and lack of snow, but there is possibly some snow coming. And just a reminder for the residents to not park on the street during these events so the plows and salt trucks can get through safely and get the roads cleared off for everyone. And I just want to pass on some condolences for one of our Monroeville residents, Al Waltauer, Pitcairn born, longtime Monroeville resident. He was a teacher at the Monroeville Junior High School for years, moved up to principal at a few different schools, and ended his career as an assistant superintendent at South Butler School District. He served his country for years, volunteering his time as a Blue Gold officer, which is through the U.S. Naval Academy, so he would mentor and interview possible candidates to be midshipmen. So Al had a long-term illness, and he is now at peace. But and also Al was my neighbor, and Mr. Poach's neighbor as well.
Lives right between us, yeah.
And a super guy, loved by many, and he'll definitely be missed. So my condolences to his family and Nancy. And
He was also a classmate of mine.
Classmate of
classmate of
that's
Mr.
right,
Wilson.
Tom.
So definitely someone that's been in the community for quite some time and a heck of a guy. So with that, I'd like to seek a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you and good night.